Hello and welcome to Ecoholics. So today we are meeting again on this live session. Here we'll discuss the important topic. We can say the important topic is about the air pollution. So that air pollution, especially in the areas of National Capital Region, NCR, that is Delhi, and nearby areas. That is the main reason that government is saying about this created a smog bubble like smog, that is stubble burning. And this kind of stubble burning you can actually feel when you uh, breathe in, especially in Delhi. So stubble burning, obviously one of the reasons. Now we can say that the government changed this policy, and a lot of the we can say a lot of policy changes are there just because of the depleting water table and other things. So we can say that how we can actually change the policy in order to reduce this stubble burning or totally eliminate this. So this is the main agenda of this lecture. Here we can say that the main focus is towards UPSC GS3 paper, where you have the agriculture in IAS examination, civil services examination. So in GS paper 3 you'll get this topic about the uh, sowing of the crops and as well as the different types of crop. So this topic falls under that particular category. Now if you see that the air quality index, so the air quality index that touched, we can say, around extreme levels of the emergency. So the Supreme Court recently, what Supreme Court said that Supreme Court came down heavily on the chief secretaries of the state of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi, so adjoining areas. Why? Because they actually are not able to stop the stubble burning, and they were not able to actually provide clean air to breathe for the Delhi resident. So the main factor behind the smog is the paddy stubble, that paddy stubble that farmers are actually burning. Now if you see that the judge of the Supreme Court asked the Punjab Chief Secretary to pay 100 rupees per quintal to the farmers as an incentive that they will not burn the stubble. So here we can say that these kind of incentives that judge is saying to these chief secretary, so that they can actually reduce the stubble burning. Other solutions, like we have the happy seeder machine. Now the happy seeder machine that actually provides the stubble burning cutting without burning them. So what the Supreme Court is saying, that we should give at a subsidized rate to these farmers so that they'll not have any problems. Now here the main issue is not the stubble burning. We can say stubble burning is very superficial problem. The main solutions are obviously not lie with the chief secretary, but their main solution is with the political parties, political leaders, especially we can say both center as well as the state governments. So they need to take the responsibility for that and making the policies for the grain management, because these two government are making the policies related to agriculture, or we can say grain management. Now understanding the concept behind this. Now if we see the Punjab and Haryana belt, the Punjab and Haryana belt were actually never into the crop called rice before 1966. What happened in 1966? The Green Revolution. Now much of the Kharif area under, we can say, under rice is about 3.1 million hectare in Punjab, and if we say in Haryana it is around 1.4 million hectare. So this is in Haryana and this is in Punjab. So this is the area under the rice that currently having. Now if you see, there are problems in Punjab and Haryana is about the ground water table. It means the level of the groundwater, pumping the groundwater. So that is depleting 33 centimeter per year. So that is the rate of depletion of the groundwater table in Punjab as well as in Haryana. Now here we can say that 3/4 of this decrease is actually in Punjab, that is over exploited. Now here we can say the conclusion is that the natural endowment of water in Punjab and Haryana, it means naturally these two states are not having the conditions of water abundance. What they are having, they are struggling with the creation of the extra water in order to produce the rice. Now here we can say the rice obviously plays an important role for the country as a whole, because India is the second largest producer of the rice. But here the main reason is that Punjab and Haryana is, we can say, geographically they are not to produce rice, because they are not able to create the extra amount of water that rice, the particular crop, needs. Now here we can say, in order to save this certain water during the summers, the Punjab and Haryana government, or especially we can say the Punjab government, passed a legislation that no farmer will sow paddy before June 15. So every 15th of June they cannot sow paddy. So it means this, actually when farmers were sowing the paddy, that was around, we can say, around 1st or 2nd June, but that pushes the date of sowing of this paddy to approximately 15 days. It means that also pushes the harvesting period that also pushes to, we can say, the late October, or we can say early November or mid November. It means this is the time that we are having. Now here the main reason is, we can say, there's a little gap in Kharif harvesting and Rabi sowing. So how to get rid of these stubble in the very short time? That's why farmers are opting for the option of burning. Burning is the best and the fast solution. So here we can say that actually compress the gap between the Kharif and the Rabi season. So here the paddy stubble is obviously, the solution is to burn them quickly. So because if you see that farm labor during this peak period, that is what we call the season, that is also, we can say, very expensive. So the major issue or major solution we have is just burn these paddy stubbles. Now the question arises that the if we say the paddy cultivation requires lot of water, as I said earlier, if you produce rice you require lot of water, and this lot of water obviously doesn't align with the crop requirement. Other than this, suppose the fact is, if you want to grow 1 kg of rice, that requires around 5000 liters of irrigation water. So here you can understand 1 kg of rice requires 5000 liters of irrigation water, especially in Punjab and Haryana. I'm not talking about the other states, because here water is in shortage. If you see their natural rainfall, that is also too little. So the rainfall is little, and just because of irrigation we need 5000 liters of water in order to produce 1 kg of rice. Now the question arises, why these two states especially are producing rice. What are the reasons behind this? The number one reason that we have is the massive amount of subsidy actually given on the power. So power means electricity, you can say that massive amount of subsidy they are actually providing for to pumping power. That's why they are actually extracting the groundwater level. Apart from this, subsidy on power is provided by the state government, and another subsidy that is also heavily provided by the center, that is fertilizer subsidy. So fertilizer subsidy heavily provided by the center, and the power subsidy heavily provided by the state government. The second main reason here we have the government assured the procurement of the paddy. So government ensured the procurement of paddy by the state agencies on behalf of Food Corporation of India. So on behalf of Food Corporation of India, state government can procure heavy amount of paddy. So these are the two reasons behind the high amount of cultivation, high amount of sowing these crops, especially in the water scarce area. Now the question arises, what is the need? How we can move these kind of areas out of this rice? We can grow other crop as well. Like whenever we shift, suppose this is a rough map of India, and if you see, suppose this is a rough map of India. Here, this is Punjab, Haryana. So this is Punjab and Haryana. And now what we need to shift this paddy cultivation towards the eastern part of the country where we have water in abundance. So that is the main thing that government of India is trying, where water is abundantly available. Now if you see the basmati area in the belt that produces the 1.2 million hectares, and that if you see the basmati area in the eastern part that produces around 4.6 million hectares, so you can see the difference in the productivity as well, but the value of almost 3 times higher than in comparison to the common rice, because basmati rice is considered as the most premium rice. If you see Punjab and Haryana, they mostly focus on the basmati rice because this gives the extra amount of value. So that's why obviously for every drop they are able to extract more amount of money from this value. If you see the other kind of rice, the common rice that used to go to PDS system, that is at rupees 3 per kg. So that is sold in the public distribution system under National Food Security Act. That's why Punjab and Haryana are interested in basmati rice, not in the other rice. Now what is the solution? How we can shift these farmers from rice to other kharif crop? The other kharif crop we can say, for example, that is corn, the makka in Hindi. So the corn, how can we shift? So if you see, this shift is obviously, we can say it is very difficult. Now we can say center and the state, they first of all they need to abolish the fertilizer subsidy as well as the power subsidy. But we can say that India is having a political economy scenario where these kind of freebies actually attracts the voters, and these policymakers needs certain kind of votes in order to remain in the power. That's why this free power, cheap fertilizer, etc., the chances are extremely low that government can shift their policy. Now here we can say that a move towards, we can say that giving subsidy in terms of the cash that is per hectare, that will somewhat improve the existing situation, the on the basis of universal basic income, or the trailer was Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme, where we can transfer cash directly into the farmer's account. So for that, Punjab and Haryana jointly announced that there are cash incentives. Now suppose for example, if the center and the states of, we can say, Punjab and Haryana, they announce cash incentive and they may share equally about the growing paddy per year, then it may encourage the farmers. Now what does it mean? It means you abolish these kind of subsidies, or you can give them for some period of time, but you should also give certain incentive so that they will produce the corn. So that is the main, we can say, solution here we have. If you calculate this in the basis of a research done by the Professor Ashok Gulati, the agricultural economist of India, very famous economist. If you see the calculation done by him, that combined subsidy on the power of irrigation and fertilizer, if they calculate, that comes around 15,000 per hectare. And so we can say the government is giving 12,000 per hectare for the corn cultivation. It means they are transferring subsidy from rice to the corn. How they can transferring? Because the cost that they are saving from giving less power and fertilizer subsidy, and they are giving the amount of 12,000 per hectare, that is on over and corn. So we can say it will not cost anything extra for both the central as well as the state government. But here we can say they absorb the government procurement as well. But for the corn, we can say corn cultivation, they have to be absorbed in certain mills. So feed mills for, we can say, poultry farm, or the starch where we make starch, or ethanol, or based on food processing industry. So here what we need, that government should give some certain tax breaks or tax incentives to these industry, so that will increase the demand of the corn. If the demand of the corn will go up, obviously these farmers will shift from rice to the corn. So this is how we can say that linking the farm with the industry. So that is the linkage of agriculture with the industry. Now here we have the right time to switch, because every year there is a problem, and that is building. Now this year that government is having over and above the limit of rice stock, that is buffer stock that India needs. Here we have India is having the high amount of the rice buffer stock. So India can do this, India can afford the less cultivation of rice for this particular year. And this can actually, what we are currently government is following the inefficient market practices. So inefficiency in this grain management, that creates a lot of problem. That's why FCI, Food Corporation of India, is maintaining a rice stock over and above the requirement of the buffer stock. So here we can say that these are the major things that we had discussed, and the major reason we can say that a state government, obviously, that government should not give, the second reason, that is government should not give the paddy procurement, open paddy procurement for the state government on behalf of Food Corporation of India. They should give certain kind of upper limit or the ceiling limit. Suppose we can say it is 50%. If suppose that the center announced that it will not procure more than 50% of the production of the common paddy, then what will happen, that other blocks that the farmers are actually over exploiting, then they can change this, move from, we can say, rice to corn. Here the major issue is the state government charges a lot of fees as well. So these kind of fees will not give a straight procurement agency more than certain amount of threshold. That is also important. So here the major reason, major objective is to shift the farmers from the rice to the corn cultivation, and that plays an important role, because if Supreme Court is interested, then the major issue obviously is there. So in order to protect the farmers from, actually, in order to stop the farmers from stubble burning, the major thing is the policies of the grain management. So government should think about the policies of the grain management, where the Punjab and the Haryana government should do something so the people will shift from paddy to corn or to other kharif crop. So that's it for today's discussion. If you have any doubt, you can ask. So tomorrow again we'll meet at 10:30 p.m. and that is the discussion on the current events, current discussion and economic analysis from Monday to Saturday based on the current economic analysis and discussion. These type of discussions are helpful for UPSC examination and other examination like UPSC, Indian Economic Services and Indian Administrative Services. Apart from this, if you are giving any examination for defense examination, that is also helpful for this. Apart from this, the RBI exam, the exam for the bank PO and SO, that will also be beneficial for you, these kind of discussion, especially in the interview classes. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. So you can follow us on our Instagram account as well as you can connect me on WhatsApp as well. This is my personal number, so you can always connect with me. You can visit our website where you can find a lot of courses. So if you are interested in any of the courses, so courses like economics optional, Indian economic services, mathematical economics, econometrics, and UPSC for UPSC Indian economy, that is for general studies. Apart from this, we have started with the PG entrance examination course for JNU, Delhi University, and Delhi School of Economics. Apart from this, the PhD research support are also there. So if you are interested, you can always visit our website or contact on this number. So till then, thank you so much and good night.